My name is Dr. Lisa Zakia Newland, and I'm the very proud president of the Nassau Suffolk Association of Black Social Workers. We wanted to take a moment to just come together and share some words of wisdom and some tips around wellness and strategies and encouraging words that will help us all think through how to manage our well-being. We are living through times that are extremely difficult. We are witnessing the continuous onslaught of race-based violence, racial trauma, economic issues, you name it, we're experiencing it. We're still going through a pandemic. We're dealing with grief and adjustments and transitions, and I think you kind of get the point. So we wanted to come together to, again, let some of the members and dear associates of the association give some tips around well-being. So you're going to hear some strategies, you're going to hear some encouragement, you're going to hear a few tips that we hope you'll be able to use and also share with people who you love and people who you like so that they could get the information that they need to continue to promote their well-being. So in this month where we're highlighting mental health awareness, we want to make sure that you're recognizing some signs and symptoms and also messaging to yourself what you need to do to be well.
I'm Martine. I'm a social worker. I've been a social worker for 25 years. Social work takes a toll on you, taking on everybody else's issues and helping everybody else solve their issues can be very stressful. And sometimes we take on everybody else's problems. And my way to decompress is through photography. I took that on many years ago because it helped to bring me joy. It helped me to capture moments in time when people are happy mostly. And I love taking pictures of children and capturing the innocence and just to capture faces and happiness. That has helped me to decompress. Waking up early, going out, taking pictures of nature, things that we don't need to pay for. So don't look for joy in things that cost money. Look for joy in things that are free. Your surroundings, the people in your life, going out for a cup of coffee, inviting someone for a cup of hot chocolate to sit outside. So it's important to take time for yourself, be with people, socialize, and find time to enjoy what you have.
Hello everybody, my name is Dolores. I'm a proud 75-year-old senior, the elder chapter member of Nassau Suffolk Association of Black Social Workers. I'm here with you to share a couple of strategies and helpful hints to help those of us in our golden years stay well. One of the first things that I'm going to suggest as a 75-year-old, I've learned how to stress less. Not to take things so seriously, and at the end of the day, you have to know how to let certain things go. The other thing I find helpful is that you want to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, and not only that, people who are positive thinkers. People that have positive energies will share that with you and hopefully promote your wellness and well-being. You want to learn to forgive and let go. Holding on to grudges and gripes really does more to aid you. Let it go and you'll find out you'll feel better and you'll also live longer. You want to keep a network of people with similar ideas, people who are adventurous in spirit, and people who are like-minded. One of the things I found as you get older, and it is a fact of life, at some point you'll begin to lose those who were close to you, be they best friends, childhood sweetheart, but you got to keep going. Make new friends. Become relevant. Engage yourself in a new hobby or an activity. You'll be surprised. You'll be amazed at what you can learn and what you can do. So those are just a few of the tips that I have found to be helpful. I have done them, and I hope that they'll be helpful for you as well. Remember, 75 is not bad. So you take care, and hopefully these strategies will help you as well.
Hi, my name is Kayla and I'm 1 year post-grad, and I'm here to give you guys a few tips on managing mental health and well-being and physical health as a new social worker. So one thing that I would definitely start off with is boundaries. I know that was discussed a lot while we were in school, but it definitely is important. Just that work boundaries, you need to take your deserved breaks and, manage things timely and leave work at work. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's something that you'll just have to adjust to over time for sure. And it's definitely important to make time for yourself and also your loved ones, so that also kind of goes into boundaries. The second thing that I'll say is definitely be honest, and that means being honest with your feelings, your experiences. Definitely talk to others, and it could be new grads such as yourself or established social workers, but definitely discuss your emotions and don't hold them in. And things are going to be new and scary, and it's good to get them out. And one thing that I like to do is I'm in a forum, it's called Black Girls in Social Work on Facebook, and it's really great to get to hear from amazing women all over the US in terms of things that I've gone through or that I may be going through. In terms of physical, I would say it's definitely adjustment to working full-time and trying to fit in activities and exercise, but I try to do about 20 to 30 minutes, and that could be either walking around during lunch or maybe going out dancing with my friends on the weekend, or if you're into sports, that's also something that would be good to do. But definitely try to make sure that you maintain your physical health because it's part of who you are. The last thing that I want to share is 20 to 30 minutes of laughter, and that's something that I kind of came up with, but I'll say that I'll sit down and watch some TikToks or find comedy in things that I read, and it definitely makes a difference. I hope that it's been helpful, some of the tips that I have given you, and I wish all of the new social workers the best of luck in the field. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Robert Newland, and I just wanted to share some things that helped me through when I needed to go through. I am diagnosed with PTSD from the military. When I was in the military, there was a stigma of having a mental illness of sorts. They called it shell shock, and you were ridiculed and a lot denied promotion. So what happens is it goes undiagnosed. I went to Somalia and did some things and needed help coping with the things that I did, but I didn't know it at the time. It wasn't until I went on leave and went home and my mother told me that I was waking up in the middle of the night from nightmares or whatever scaring her. So she said that I needed help. I had to go to another post to get the help that I needed when no one knew me. The doctors there would wear civilian clothes and meet you in public places so no one would think that you were getting help from them. It was just two ordinary people. Being a black man with these issues is even harder. Sometimes we don't have somebody that we can talk to. That's why it's good to seek out professional help, because then you don't have somebody that's going to sit there and judge you like a friend would, or a relative, or just a significant other. You can let out everything that you need to let out. Don't hold it in. Find the help that you need. Talk to someone. If you even think that you need to talk to someone, then you need to talk to someone. And remember, it's okay to not be okay. Seek the help that you need. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Fatima Perry. I'm a social work student, and one of the things that I truly like to do for downtime to get me away from my regular day-to-day is to become involved or engaged in an activity that I may love to do. Kickball, it could be swimming, it could be anything that you love, music, anything that takes you out of yourself, that allows you to get comfortable, laugh, joke, be with other people, just have a great time. Is something that's part of self-care, and it's just a great tool to use when you need something other than what you normally are used to doing.
When we think about mental health, we don't always consider how it applies to our own well-being at work. And as of last year, Black business owners alone was up something like 38% post-COVID, right? And that means a lot of you are out here seizing the opportunity to create your own, or maybe participated in that great resignation, or at least thought about challenging your careers and what's possible. And as you pursue those dreams, right, this is actually a great reminder, a great month to remind yourself to also prioritize your emotional well-being. Your business is only going to be as strong as your emotional foundation, right? And what that means is how well you structure your self-care, including professional rest days. So use that PTO or schedule that time off, right? Or, how well you can work through the trauma of trust to collaborate, or your ability to see past the perfection and remain consistent and not burn out, or even the ability to speak up for yourself and recognize it won't always be so smooth, right? There are going to be tough days as you build and as you work your purpose, right? But we've got to figure out how to persevere through that and kind of put down the self-criticism. All of that is really critical to your mental health and well-being. So where do you begin? Start every day with what you're grateful for to keep things in perspective. Schedule time off like you would a doctor's appointment and hold that sacred, right? People will get used to that boundary and they'll come to respect it too, right? And my last suggestion is to create a new practice of asking for help or regularly reaching out to someone in your field to build connections, reduce that sense of loneliness and isolation that can come from business building, right? Or can come from being in leadership positions where maybe you're the only one, right? Or you've changed positions from your colleague, right? And it feels like it's just you. Whatever you need to do, create those support systems or utilize the ones that you have, because there's power in our collective healing, there's power in our community, okay? I'm Amanda Flood, a psychotherapist and business mindset coach for the Long Island Association of Black Social Workers. Happy Minority Mental Health Month.
Hi, my name is Gladys Brown. During the pandemic, I had several friends who were caretakers for parents or spouses, and others who lived alone. And it was a very traumatic time, as we all know. And there was social isolation, there was just loneliness and anxiety. And I used to check in on my friends. And one day I decided, why am I just checking in individually? Maybe we can all come together and lend support to each other. So I made a phone call to each of them to see if they would be willing to do a Friday night Zoom session. And they all said yes. I wasn't surprised. We came together, and the initial meeting was mostly venting. We vented about how we were feeling, about what was going on, anxiety, loneliness, and later on the meeting evolved. It evolved into something really, really nice. We started to have game night and movie nights. We had prayer. Prayer is so important, as we all know. We also had a meal train for those who had spouses or parents who were in the hospital and they were running and didn't get a chance to eat. We would each take a day and send a meal. We also did Black History art projects and Black Jeopardy, and really had a good time. So at the end of the pandemic, well, not the end, but when it started to calm down, I asked if we wanted to, stop the meetings, and unanimously they said no. So we continued the meetings, continued lending support. There were lots of new friendships made. And to this day, we are continuing the meetings now and having a really good time. It lends support, and it's very important to support each other during these anxious and traumatic times.
Hello, my name is Pauline Rose, and I'm the ABSW Nassau Suffolk Chapter Vice President. So I just want to give you a few tips about grief and loss and bereavement. So bereavement and grief have always taken a toll on people. Have you or someone in your life lost a loved one and wondering how to continue to cope? I've been thinking about the teens and wonder whether you have given your teen a chance to grieve. For some tips that you may find, it's in the answers that you have to these questions. Have you listened to what your teen is saying? Really listen, without interrupting or giving advice before they're finished. Giving advice in the moment might tell them that they need to stop talking. Have you spent any time with your teen in a space that is safe in every way, non-judgmental, and free of any interruptions? Have you used the name of the teen's loved one who died, or allowed the teen to use the name of their loved one? You can be available over time. Some friends and family vanish after a few months, and the teen support system is gone long before their grieving is over. You can introduce grieving teens to others who have also been through difficult losses. Peer support can be a powerful resource for adolescents. You can make it clear that it's okay for them to go on enjoying their life. You can, and for you, pass by and look at or pick up a picture of your deceased loved one and thank God for the time you were allowed to share the life of this person. Then look again and thank your loved one for the time they shared their life with you. You can talk to them and let them know you forgive them for leaving. Remember your cultural practices. And remember, grieving takes time. And I ask you, what have you done for yourself lately?
Good evening. My name is Theron Ison, and if I were to share a word with you this evening, it would be to be careful about digestion, what we take in. We have a physical digestion, and we have a mental digestion, and a spiritual digestion. And it's very important to realize that what we take in impacts how we carry ourselves and how we interface with one another. My example is the other night I was going out to visit someone. It was a Friday night. I put the radio on. I was listening to hip hop, and the DJ talked about murder music, and for the next hour, he played nothing but songs about murder. And I got ready to turn the channel, but something said just listen, because I need to understand what our youth are being fed. And every song was murder, guns, killing, not forgiving enemies, and killing our ops. And then we talk about the murder problem and the community problem that we have as it relates to violence. We have to be very careful about what we ingest, because we're being desensitized to violence, and ultimately we're harming one another. It's so important for us to frame our language in love. Linguists say that the way people speak frames how they see the world. And if we frame our language around being ends and bees, then we're going to treat ourselves that way. But if we go back to being kings and queens and valuing one another, then we'll treat each other with value. And so that's my message today. Let's go back to loving one another. Let's get away from the hate. Let's get away from the violence. Let's begin to build one another up. Because the system is not going to save us. We have to save ourselves, and it begins with love. Love you guys.
So you've heard a few things from us, and we have certainly thought about and prepared for ways to share information with the community. You've heard it's okay not to be okay. You've heard that there are critical issues around our grieving process. You've heard to do some things to just enjoy yourself, like dancing and using music as interventions to uplift your spirit and your soul. You've heard some things that hopefully you will take along with you and you will put in your toolkit. And one thing that I suggest when you think about how to care for yourself, acknowledge the situation you're going through. Allow yourself to explore your thoughts, your feelings, but consider the actions that you need to do to be responsive to what you're aware of. So do that dance between your awareness and your responsiveness, and most of all, be encouraged and encourage someone else. So on behalf of the Nassau Suffolk Association of Black Social Workers, we wish you well, we wish you well, we wish you well.